Hey guys, so in this video, I want to talk about Areit declaring its first tranche of dividends for 2020. So as you all know, Areit listed last week. This is the third trading day for Areit, and what I want to discuss aside from them declaring dividends, I would want to drill down on the following. I'd want to drill down on the details of its dividend, talk about its price action for today, then talk about the dividend amount, and we'll end with the dividend yield. Then maybe I'll add a bit of my analysis and strategy based on all of this, and also to give you a bit of, I guess, more details on what are you supposed to do if you have bought it initially, or if you have cash right now and you want to deploy capital. So before that though, my name's Marvin Gurmo. I'm a stock market trader and investor, and I've been investing in the market for more than a decade now. And if you'd like to know more about trading the markets, analysis, fundamentals, technicals, subscribe to my channel to get more of that stuff. So I have two channels. What you're seeing right now is my first channel called Marvin Gurmo, and everything from the basics to the principles and strategies of the markets are all there. And where you are right now is my second channel, where we do a lot of deep dives on technical analysis. We talk a lot about the numbers, and we go through the day-to-day movements. But if you want to know more about AREIT, I have an entire playlist in my first channel right there. We have over 1,600 videos there. Just click the playlist tab and then look for the AREIT set of videos. Or if you want to know more about REITs, we have also another set of videos for that. So you can click any of those to get more details on the fundamentals of the company and its projects. Because as you all know, when you are in, when it's listed already, everyone just looks at the price. But there's a lot to it also, that especially if you're a long-term investor, it's very, very important. It's prudent for you to know what the company is, so that you have the conviction every time there's volatility, either upward or downward for the stock, for the REIT, you know what you're getting into. So if you like a lot of this, like, share, subscribe, and smash the bell to get updated every time I come up with new content about investing and the markets. So let's start. So they made a disclosure today citing that for the first quarter's earnings of AREIT, they're giving out a dividend of 0.28 pesos, or around 28 centavos. So next is, since we're already in August, sinabay na rin nila the second quarter earnings with the dividends. They're giving out 0.31 pesos. And what I would like to submit to all of you is this. Think about it. The lockdown happened April, May, June. If you try to analyze it further, their dividends were actually higher than the first quarter. And a lot of people have been asking that maybe because of the lockdown, they're not earning as much, or they won't earn as much. But please remember the videos that I posted. I'm gonna put the link in the description below for the playlist, and you'll see in the cards a couple of videos that are coming out also. But what I would like to submit to you is they are all in long-term leases. They are heavily exposed in the BPO industry. That's why, in my opinion, as long as the BPOs here are here to stay and they're locked in into long-term leases, it would still be a very, very good prospect for the company. So this is the first quarter dividends. This is the second quarter dividends. They will be released all at the same time. So please remember, it won't be like this, that the first quarter and second quarter dividends would be given out in one go for the succeeding years. It's just right now, since they just listed a couple of days ago. That being said, also, here are the important dates for you to remember. The record date is September 2. Payout date is September 15, 2020. Nako, sakto yan, September 15, 2020. Sa asawa nyo pag nag-Shopee, check out sila, may cash na kagad kayo na bago. Anyways, the dividends would be given out every quarter starting next year. So what we have right now is, since we had an IPO, they combined everything. But you can expect for 2021, the dividends would be given out March 31, June 30, September 30, and December 31, 2020. So at least for those who are asking what would be the frequency, this already gives us clarity on how it will be. But what I've seen in my REITs in my overseas REITs, they've been giving it out also on a quarterly basis. But there are some also that give it on lesser frequencies, but never, wala pa ako nakita monthly kasi they can't give monthly kasi even the earnings disclosures are given out on a quarterly basis, and the quarterly basis and the dividends are based on whatever they disclose on a quarterly level. So I hope you're getting this. I hope you're learning. I hope this is something that's adding value to you. If it is, like button and place whatever comment that you would want as well. Now let's talk about the price as of today. So this is being filmed a few minutes right after the market close, and it's very, very interesting because this is the first day that we've seen a REIT go up. I'm not gonna show any charts in this video because if you're just gonna use three candlesticks, it won't really show us uh, somehow solid support levels yet. But what we do know is after the bounce, after the drop from, if you try to remember it, 24.9 was a closing in Friday last Thursday during the IPO. Then it was 24.1 if I remember it properly Friday. So large red candle Thursday, large red candle Friday. Then for today, it started to rebound already and bounce. Just looking at it from the opening was already 24.65. If you note it, the closing last time was 24.1. So there was already a bit of of people buying it at a much higher price as compared to the closing of Friday. So opening 24.65, then as it started to hit 24.65, it even hit an intraday high of 26.45 pesos per share to close where we are today at 25.95. So green candle, first time we saw buying where it probably would show us that people conceive the 24.1 area to 24.65 area as an area that's relatively cheap. So please remember, when you look at price, when you analyze price and you put technical analysis on top of it, price discounts everything. Everything you need to know is found in the charts. Everything you need to know is found on how people react to the price. So if people are buying at the 24.24 level, people are probably pegging that at this point, this is the cheapest that we could probably get it, or at this point, it's already cheap already. At this point, they're already satisfied with whatever dividends that they could possibly get. That being said, though, I wanted to show this. This is the list uh, of brokers that have transacted for the day. I've been showing this also for the Mary Mart videos and for when they did an IPO, but you have foreigners still selling. You had a net foreign sell of 145 million pesos for today. And as you can see, CLSA is selling. You can see UBS is also selling. So for buyers, majority of the ones that have started to buy are majority Filipino accounts still, either institutions or retailers. So value turnover today 368 million, respectable. One third, a large chunk of, again, the foreigners selling, and it's been the trend since last week. Anyways, let's continue. I want to talk about dividends, and as you all know, the biggest underlying reason on why people buy REITs is a proxy to rental income, a proxy that you could possibly get returns from the dividends, which is your proxy than buying a condo and having it rented out. This way, you get quarterly passive income specifically for the A REIT. Now, what's interesting in the previous videos, you can watch this video by the way, no, where I noted if the dividends are worth it, where I made some computations. Those were simulations, and those were some items posted based on the prospectus. And I made a simulation there also that if the stock will drop to 24.3, it would give you a dividend yield of 6.5% for 2021. Please remember, this dividend yield is for 2021. Now, that being said, when it dropped to 24.9, the 2021 dividend yield for me was around 6.3%. But now I want to talk about looking at it from a 2020 perspective and also 2021 perspective. So the two quarters combined, if you add them together, what I posted earlier, first quarter, second quarter, you would get around 59 centavos or 0.59 pesos for the first two quarters. Now, that being said, if you try to analyze it for 2021, assuming that it stays the same, what I'm going to do lang, this is an assumption that the 0.59 pesos, two quarters, I'm going to multiply it by 2 to represent a year, okay? It doesn't mean, please remember, it doesn't mean that it's going to be the same. I'm just doing this so at least you have a snapshot. You could have a generalization of at least what a ballpark what would be the ballpark dividend that they would give out, and what would be the ballpark dividend yield that you could possibly get. So again, this is an assumption. 0.59 pesos first two quarters. You annualize that. you multiply it by 2, it would be, sorry, it's not 2 quarters, but it would, for the whole year, it would be 1.18 pesos. So please disregard this typo. It's my fault. But yung mahirap pag-draw, no? The first channel is mostly heavily edited. It's my editors who would take care of it. Shout out to you. But here, it's just me. So I do apologize for this. Anyways, let's continue. So 2 quarters, that's what we got. Now, uh, given that there was an IPO at 27 pesos, making it an annualized amount of 1.18, the dividend yield for that would be 4.37. So if you bought at 27 and assuming the total dividends that you would get is at 1.18 pesos, your dividend yield is 4.37. So I repeat, those who bought at IPO, those who bought during the time that you could subscribe to this, your dividend yield should be 4.37, which at 4.37, it's still respectable as compared to bonds, as compared to time deposits. It still also beats inflation. And if you, as compared to other people who bought real estate that can't rent it out right now, you're way ahead. Or those who bought real estate at a high price and their tenants are not paying them, you're in a better position. Or in a way, up against real estate people who bought it at a high price and their rents are lower, you might be getting a higher dividend yield. Next, assuming that you bought at the day one close or somewhere when in the first day when the stock dropped lower, assuming also again that it's at 1.18 pesos, please remember that at 1.18 pesos you bought at 24.9, your yield would increase to 4.73. So again, if you notice it, and that's the prevailing theme, it will always be, if you're into dividends, the lower the dividend yield, the lower the stock price, your dividend yield would be massively higher. So that being said, let's go to the day two close. The day the stock, sorry, another typo. It closed at 24.1. The dividend yield for that was 44.9%. So I repeat, 4.73 day one close, 4.9 day two close. The lower the stock price, the better it will be for you from a yield perspective. That being said, from today, it closed at 25.95, and as it closed at 25.95, your yield is back at 4.54%. It's still better than the IPO. It's still better than again several things, several asset classes that I've mentioned. But those who bought it when there was a lot of fear, please remember, during the IPO, a lot of people didn't really like what was going on and might have sold. And those who bought it when people were selling, you would get a better dividend yield than them. So now, what should you do? I mentioned this last week, that you always stick to your plan no matter what's going on. So again, if your name of the game is you want to treat it like your proxy to rental income, then by all means, every time it drops and you have cash and the dividend yield is acceptable to you, you buy. That's how you could possibly do it, and then let the dividends run for you for years. Now, if you think that the fundamentals also of this would somehow shift, somehow change, somehow would not be so good, by all means sell. If you're in it for a combination of capital appreciation and dividends, so as long as the fundamentals are good for you, as long as you believe that the company is good, as long as you believe the cash flow is good as well, then suddenly, every time it dips, you can buy. For those who are trading using technicals and want a longer and more solid support and resistance, you could wait until more candlesticks develop. As what I've been saying over and over, technical analysis is past prices plotted into charts. The more solid the past prices, the more solid the support and resistance, the better it will be for you. So there. I hope you got a lot. If you have questions, guys, put them in the comment section, and then I'll try to make videos on top of that. By the way, you can head over to Rex Mendoza's channel, Rapver, where he talked about A-REITs also. And aside from that, I talked about A-REITs extensively. It came out in the cards while the video was running, or it also, you can see it in the description below if you want to know more about it. So there, what was your key takeaway into all of this? Did this cause you to buy or sell? Also, if you have personal questions, just slide them over. to my Instagram account, and I'll try as much as possible to answer everything that you guys have sent me. So there. Uh, I hope you guys got a lot from this, and I hope this is something that gave you enough insight to be able to trade the markets with confidence. Because at the end of the day, that's all I wanted. That the reason why I created this second channel is to create a deep dive on a more holistic level, talking about the numbers, talking about the price action, talking about the charts, where you guys have an option already to learn more from a day-to-day basis and to learn timeless content as well in the first channel. So if you like this, appreciate it if you can share this to more and more people, because it's time that we create a narrative that Filipinos learn more about investing. And if you'd like to learn more on technicals, fundamentals, and the basics, on the description below, I have 5 books. You can order them via Shopee, and it can be delivered to anywhere in the world or in the Philippines as long as there's Shopee coverage. Then 2 online courses with Chinkee Tan. It's all in the description below also. And Sean Si, where we talk about the basics of the market. And also, if you want to trade US stocks, in the description below, we have a link for eToro. It allows you to buy Amazon, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Nike, Starbucks for only $50. So that's it for now. I hope you guys got a lot from this, and I hope this is something that gave you enough insightful content in a world where there's so much uncertainty around. So that's it for now. Marvin Gurmo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.